Have you ever noticed that the smartest person in the room is not always the most peaceful one? Not because their life is worse, not because they're weaker, but because their mind never really goes quiet. They notice the tone behind a sentence. They replay conversations after everyone else has moved on. They see problems before they happen. They imagine outcomes nobody else even considered. From the outside, people call that intelligence, but on the inside, it doesn't always feel like a gift. By the end of this video, you'll understand why a mind that sees too much can also suffer too much, and the one shift that helps it finally rest. At first, intelligence feels like power. You understand things quickly. You connect ideas faster than the people around you. You can sense when something is off, even when nobody says it out loud. You don't just hear words. You hear the pause before them. You hear the emotion behind the sentence. You hear what someone is trying not to say. And that's useful. It helps you avoid mistakes, and it helps you predict problems early. It helps you understand people, situations, patterns, and risks before anyone else notices them. An intelligent mind doesn't just look at life, it studies it. But that's exactly where the problem begins, because the same mind that sees more also has to carry more. A simple person hears a sentence and moves on, but a sharp mind keeps turning it around. Why did they say it like that? Did they mean something else? Was I wrong? Should I have replied differently? And the difficult part is, sometimes your mind is right. Sometimes you did notice something real. Sometimes the tone really did change. Sometimes the pattern really did matter. And once your mind has been right a few times, it starts treating every fear like intelligence. That's how the gift slowly turns into a burden. Not because you're broken, but because your mind is too good at building possibilities. This is where thinking starts becoming pressure. When people praise you for being smart, you don't just enjoy it, you start protecting it. You become the one who understands, the one who gives advice, the one who thinks deeply, the one who usually has an answer. At first, that identity feels good, but slowly it becomes heavy. Because now you're not just trying to live, you're trying not to disappoint the image people have of you. When intelligence becomes your identity, being wrong starts to feel personal. A mistake doesn't feel like a mistake, it feels like evidence. A failed attempt doesn't feel like learning, it feels like humiliation. So you stay in your head, where things feel safer. In your head, you can prepare. You can predict. You can imagine. You can stay in control. But real life doesn't happen only inside the mind. Real life requires trying before you feel ready. Speaking before the sentence is perfect. Choosing before you know every outcome. Taking the risk before you have complete certainty. And if intelligence keeps you from entering life, it has stopped being a tool. It has become a wall. Fear, wearing a suit. There's another hidden problem with an intelligent mind. It can defend anything. You're not scared. You're being realistic. You're not delaying. You're thinking it through. You're not avoiding rejection. You're waiting for the right moment. A clever mind can make fear sound like wisdom. And because your reasoning sounds convincing, nobody questions it. Sometimes, not even you. This is why intelligence without honesty can become dangerous. The smarter you are, the easier it becomes to build a beautiful cage and call it a strategy. Too many futures. Then comes the problem of too many choices. For some people, a decision is simple. They choose, they move, they adjust. But an intelligent mind often sees too much. The best case, the worst case, the hidden cost, the thing that might happen 3 years from now. Psychologist Barry Schwartz called this the paradox of choice. The idea that more options can sometimes make us less free because every option creates another reason to doubt ourselves. The more futures your mind can imagine, the harder it becomes to live in one of them. You keep waiting for certainty, but life rarely gives certainty. It gives incomplete information, imperfect timing, and choices that only make sense after you've already made them. So while other people move forward and learn from the result, you stay stuck at the starting line, trying to think your way into a guarantee that doesn't exist. And slowly, intelligence becomes paralysis. Not because you don't know enough, but because you know too many possible versions of what could go wrong. Now, here's something worth sitting with for a second. None of this happens because you're overreacting. It happens because your mind is doing exactly what it was built to do: protect you, prepare you, keep you safe from being caught off guard. The problem isn't the machine. It's that nobody ever showed you where the off switch is. So let's look at where this shows up in the parts of life that matter most, the people around you. Reading the room, never resting in it. This also affects relationships, because understanding people deeply can make you feel strangely alone. You notice when someone's energy changes. You notice when their words and their emotions don't match. You notice the insecurity behind arrogance, the fear behind anger, the need for approval behind confidence. And yes, sometimes that makes you wise. But it also makes you tired, because while everyone else is just having a conversation, you are reading the conversation. While everyone else is laughing, you are wondering what the laughter hides. While everyone else is present, some part of you is observing from a distance. You become good at reading rooms, but bad at resting inside them. And that creates a strange loneliness. Not because nobody is around you, but because your inner world is difficult to explain. How do you tell someone that silence doesn't feel silent to you? How do you explain that your mind is tired from noticing things other people never even saw? The intelligent mind can understand many people, but still feel understood by very few. Trusting your own thoughts. Too much. Daniel Kahneman spent years studying how humans make decisions, and one of his biggest lessons was simple. We are not as rational as we think. So what do you do with a mind like this? You don't destroy it. You train it. Here's the shift. Stop treating every thought like a command. Some thoughts are signals. Some are just old fear trying to sound intelligent. And the moment you can tell them apart, everything changes. Sometimes a thought is just a thought. Sometimes a feeling is just passing weather. And sometimes the smartest thing you can do is stop arguing with your own brain. Send the message. Start before it's perfect. Let someone misunderstand you and survive it. The goal was never to become less intelligent. The goal is to stop using your intelligence against yourself. Because a truly intelligent mind isn't just sharp, it's flexible. It knows when to analyze and when to simply let go. So if your mind never stops, maybe the answer isn't to hate it. Maybe it's to finally teach it how to rest. So maybe the real question isn't, are you intelligent? Maybe it's, can your intelligence serve your life instead of replacing it? Can you notice everything without carrying everything? Because the problem was never intelligence. It's when being right starts to matter more than being free. So next time a thought shows up loud and urgent, don't ask, is this true? Ask a better one. Is this a signal? Or just fear wearing a smarter vocabulary? That single question might be the closest thing to peace your mind will ever need. And maybe that's the whole point. Not to think less, not to feel less, not to become someone else. Just to finally stop treating your own mind like the enemy and start treating it like what it actually is, a gift that was never meant to be carried alone. If this felt like something you needed to hear, comment below, gift or curse. And if you want more conversations like this one about the mind and the things we rarely say out loud, this is exactly where you stay. Subscribe to Self-Companion. You've been thinking long enough. Now let's just be for a while.